Welcome back to Ravenlore as we continue with our House in the Night read through. This is part 4. The Hounds are forever yours. The Hounds are forever yours. Since the heroes aided Michaels, they are welcomed as honored guests. For Westcote has a difficult time recruiting new help since his reputation in Mordenshire is tarnished. Though no one from the town can reliably report whether Burton is alive or dead, the Westcote family is believed to be cursed. Only the least superstitious of the locals even consider hiring on at the family manor, leaving the manor with few candidates for employment. Eventually, Westcott asks the heroes to help break the curse that has plagued him and his family. If the heroes agree to help, they can find several clues regarding the nature of the curse in the manor house itself. The first clue is Westcote's own testimony. However, since even the dullest player is likely to realize that this version of history is slanted, there are more clues to be found. The servants may be questioned, and if Westcote is evil, the heroes may see him beating one of them in a fit of rage. There is also the apparition of the Knight of the Curse. Westcote himself shows the heroes the scene, but he hides his own involvement in it. The information the heroes gain should be enough to lead them into the bog, where they can learn more of the curse of the Westcotes. Westcote Manor. The manor is a rambling two-story building filled with dust and antiques. Descriptions of the manor's rooms and any items of value follow the notes on the servants. The DM should feel free to add ordinary furniture and other items to these descriptions as the heroes explore. None of these furnishings should be especially attractive to a thief, but there is always a chance that a hero will try to flitch a few things. Remind the players that they are guests if the heroes begin filling their pockets. The few remaining servants have quarters on the first floor, but most may be encountered anywhere in the manor. The servants. Daryl Holmes, butler, second level fighter, AC 7, movement 12, hit points undetermined, strength 13, dexterity 12, constitution 14, intelligence 13, wisdom 14, charisma 11, number of attacks 1, damage 1-6, alignment lawful evil or neutral. Alignment, lawful neutral or lawful evil. Thaco, 19. Daryl is a polite and servile, but not especially friendly. He remains in the servant's wing until summoned. Having been an adventurer once before, he has little admiration for the heroes. His personality otherwise mirrors Westcote's, if Westcote is evil. Holmes is haughty and cunning, brutal when he has a good upper hand. If Westcote is good, Holmes is gentle, though still somewhat arrogant. Martine Garrett, cook. AC 10, movement 12, hit points 3, strength 10, dexterity 13, constitution 10, intelligence 12, wisdom 9, charisma 9, number of attacks 1. Damage 1-4, alignment neutral, Thaco 20. Martine is officious and scheming, keenly conscious of the social hierarchy amongst the servants. She always wants to make herself appear better than the others, usually by criticizing other servants unfairly or attributing her mistakes to another. She is an excellent cook despite her character flaws. Douglas Michaels, gardener. AC 9, movement 9, hit points 4, strength 14, dexterity 15, constitution 13, intelligence 10, wisdom 13, charisma 8, number of attacks 1, damage 1-3, alignment neutral good, Thaco 20. Douglas is a gentle old man who has been in the service of the Westcote family longer than any of the other servants. He walks with a limp, having broken his leg badly many years ago. Gabrielle Morgan, maid. Armor class 10, movement 12, hit points 3, strength 8, dexterity 12, constitution 15, intelligence 9, wisdom 12, charisma 13, number of attacks 1, damage 1-2, alignment neutral good, Thaco 20. Friendly and knowledgeable, Gabrielle keeps her keen mind hidden behind a facade of stupidity. She's the one who talks to the heroes about the apparition. First floor. Foyer. The entryway is graciously appointed, but appears in need of some new furniture. What remains looks as though it has been here for decades. A stairway leads to the second floor, where a balcony overlooks the foyer. Living room. This room has been abandoned. Broken glass litters the floor, and the door is nailed shut. Mud and straw from slain bog hounds are scattered about the floor. Several books have been torn from the shelves, their chewed pages scattered about the room. Because it is shut off from the rest of the manor, this room is distinctly cooler. Drawing room. Here are the wrapped gifts for the wedding that never happened. The room is full of silverware worth 200 gold pieces, a complete set of china dishes and plates worth 500 gold pieces, several pieces of art including paintings, statuary, and a violin, each worth 200 gold pieces, weapons including a broadsword plus 7, and a suit of plate armor. The armor is purely ornamental, but attractive, worth 400 gold pieces. Dining room. The dining room is one of the rooms that is still in good repair. The mahogany furniture is polished to shine with a mellow glow, and the place settings are sparkling clean. One thing seems odd. There's a darker, bare spot on the wall where a painting obviously used to hang. Westcote says that it was the portrait of his grandfather that was damaged. In reality, it is a picture of himself, and it is hidden away in the basement. Ballroom. Before the heroes can enter, they must pry boards and nails from the doors, as this room has been sealed shut. Once they are inside, the heroes can see that this once beautiful room is now littered with hay and mud, and all of its elegant windows are shattered. If the heroes ask Westcote or any of the servants about the disarray, they are told that the Hounds once broke inside, so now the room has been abandoned. Like the living room, this chamber is decidedly cool. A balcony upstairs contains orchestral seating, with a railing running around the length of the ballroom. Kitchen. The kitchen is well kept and bright, with scrubbed pots and pans dangling from the ceiling. There's a large pantry and spice rack here, and a large food preparation area dominates the room. Servants' quarters. The servants' quarters are clean and well kept. Each of the servants has his or her own room and keeps about 5 gold pieces worth of valuables hidden away here. Second floor. Study. This room is securely locked. Poor quality lock, plus 15% chance to open. It doubles as a library and a study. Lining the walls are books on history, art, and fiction. There is also a large section on the occult, specifically concentrating on works dealing with case studies of ghosts and curses. There are several books by the noteworthy Dr. Van Richten tucked away into the shelves. This room is comfortably appointed with a stuffed leather chair, an oak desk, and a huge fireplace. There's a couch facing the fire. A rumpled blanket lies across it, attesting that someone has been sleeping by the fire. Paintings adorn the panel walls, studies of the lords of Westcote Manor. The last painting, dated 100 years ago, depicts someone who looks remarkably like the current lord. About the desk are scattered papers, each of which is devoted to considering ways to break the curse of Westcote. If Westcote is evil, he has written notes cursing Campbell here, containing sentiments like, "I should have killed her when I had the chance." If the heroes enter the study, he'll try to prevent them from examining the desk, saying, "Nothing of importance here. The key to the curse lies in the bog." The words of the curse are engraved above the mantelpiece next to a picture of a beautiful young lady with auburn tresses, a full figure, a hawk-like nose, and piercing green eyes. This is so Westcote can study the curse in an effort to figure out a way to break it. To date, he has not found one short of dying, which he would never consider a viable alternative. The curse reads, "Bog, take your bones and keep them, Burton Westcott. The hounds are forever yours, but now they lie beneath my hand. Long live and suffer, you selfish." A dagger sticks into the wall nearby as if someone had hurled it in a fit of anger. A safe behind one of the paintings contains a deed to the land, 500 gold pieces, a collection of 15 gems worth 200 gold pieces each, and a leather pouch holding 100 platinum pieces. The safe's lock is excellent, imposing a negative 20% penalty on any attempts to open it. The key is in Westcote's room. Master bedroom. Westcote's bedroom is functional and free of the resplendent decor of the mansion of old. It contains a 4-post bed, a dresser, a large closet. It contains no valuables except for a key to the safe in the study. It's in the drawer on the bedside table. Gallery. The music gallery overlooks the ballroom. The mess of the ballroom below does not spread up here, though the dust of the years still covers the place. The area is little used. Bedrooms. The bedrooms are sparse but comfortable. They contain only a bed, a dresser, stool, and a closet. Basement. The basement ceiling is vaulted to support the weight of the house above. The ceiling is only about 5 feet high, requiring those who come down here to stoop for their tasks. The basement's only ornaments are cobwebs and dust. Its only tenants are spiders and rats. Wine cellar. This once grand collection of rare wines has dwindled to fewer than 24 bottles. Rarely has a servant been able to get to town to replenish it. Equipment room. This room is littered with rusty or damaged furnishings and riding equipment. It is apparent that none of this has been disturbed in the past year, judging by the dust on everything. Among the equipment, beneath an old canvas, is the painting removed from the dining room upstairs. If the heroes discover this and remove the protective canvas, they will find that it depicts someone who looks like their host, though oddly the painting itself is dated as many decades old. The course of events. When the heroes enter the manor house, they are greeted warmly by Burton Westcote, an engaging, clever man. He listens attentively to the gardener's story, nodding sympathetically at all the right places. He seems genuinely pleased to have visitors in the house and urges them to stay for dinner. He summons the maid and the butler to tend to the party's injuries, sending them to one of the bedrooms on the second floor. When they have had their wounds washed and bandaged, Westcote sends for them. He leads them on a tour of the manor, showing them the rooms of interest. By the time the tour ends, dinner is prepared. Westcote insists that the heroes stay for dinner. If they decline, Westcote tells them that he knows the source of the hounds and will reveal it all over dinner. He is true to his word, telling them the story of the curse laid upon his family. However, no matter his involvement in the story, he makes sure he is portrayed as the innocent victim. He simply changes his involvement using history number 1, if 4 is true, and history number 3, if 2 is true. See pages 5 through 8. Detect and other divination magics are useless here. The hero casting the spell receives no reading and knows it, rather than receiving a false reading altogether. After telling his story, Westcote insists that everyone come up to the study with him. He is eager to show them a sight. "However, you had better be prepared to stay up late. What I wish to show you takes place at the early hours of the morning, so you might wish to have some sleep beforehand. He says no more about the matter, preferring to let the apparition speak for itself. Once in the study, he invites the heroes to make themselves comfortable. He seats himself at the desk and picks up one of his books on the hauntings. Time passes slowly, till at last the clock strikes 3. Westcote strides over to the large window. It begins again. Every night at 3, her apparition forms, and she takes her pack of hounds out to hunt the moors. Watch. He gazes out the expanse of land at the back of the house as a ghostly shimmer rises from the land. From your vantage point, you can see the glow shape itself into the form of a young woman, but you are too far away to make out her face. You can tell that she gazes at the house for a moment and then whirls and races towards the waiting moor. Soon thereafter, a ravenous pack of hounds races after her. There she goes with her dogs, off to hunt the innocents who wander abroad. He closes the drapes and fastens them quickly, but not before you glimpse another figure racing after the pack. If asked about the second ghostly figure, Westcote says that he has never been able to discern the identity of the figure, that it has only recently joined the hunt. If the heroes pull aside the curtains, they are in time to see the figures disappear off into the moor, fading as they enter a small dale in the distance. Once the phantom show has ended, Westcote turns to the party. That's my curse. Can you help me? Will you seek out the vengeful spirit of Anne Campbell and lay her to rest, to bring me peace? I can outfit and feed you, and give you rough directions to where Anne died. If the party agrees, Westcote crows, Excellent! I'll have the maids show you to your rooms. You can start in the morning. He rings a small bell on his desk, and a few minutes later, a sleepy Gabrielle comes to show the heroes to the guest rooms. The phantom show repeats every night until the curse is broken. If the heroes wish to witness the phantom in its entirety, something Westcote will try to prevent by luring the heroes away to some amusement or talk of another matter, they must wait outside for the phantom to appear the following night. The heroes are powerless to interact with the phantom no matter what they do. It is an emotional impression left on the landscape, as unchangeable as a force of nature. Exactly at the stroke of 3 in the morning, a glow will arise from the ground itself into the form of a beautiful young woman, clad in the clothing fashionable a century ago. The colors are strangely bleached, so the actual color is indistinguishable. There is no sound to this entire scene, lending it to an eerie quality. The woman's hands are stained with something dark, and her dress is smeared as well. Abruptly, she whirls, a horrified expression on her face, and then turns and races towards the moors. Spilling forth from the abandoned kennels come the ghostly images of many hounds, each howling at their sighted prey. A man, also dressed in the fashions of a century ago, stands beside the open door of the kennel, pointing towards the fleeing form of a woman and crying out. When the last of the hounds is gone, the grim-faced man races after her, his tricorn hat falling from his head. Studying the man's face reveals an uncanny resemblance to Burton Westcote. If the heroes follow the phantom hunt into the moors, they witness the events of what actually happened a century ago. How the final portion of the phantom's scene plays out depends on the history the DM has chosen. Number 1 or number 3, Westcote may be carrying a rope, smirking over the girl's fate. Number 2 or number 4, he may be casting about for a way to save her life. Whichever the case, the heroes can determine the true villain by witnessing this and the resting place of Anne. Unfortunately, the end of this little play will result in spontaneous creation of a pack of bog hounds. They will arise from the murky waters to attack. If any of the heroes attempt to interfere with this phantom scene, the moorhound arises as well, bounding out of the bog to bring death to the interlopers. Bog hounds 9, intelligence semi, alignment neutral evil, armor class 5, movement 15, hit dice 2+2, hit points 12 each, Thaco 19, number of attacks 3, damage 1-4, 1-4, 1-6, size medium, ML 15, XP 65 each. The Moorhound, intelligence vary, alignment neutral evil, armor class 2, movement 18, hit die 8, hit points 64, Thaco 13, number of attacks 3, 1d6, 1d6, 1d8, SD, hit only by +1 or greater enchantment. Magic resistance 15%, size large, ML 20, XP 3000. If the heroes have been unable to identify the second figure in the phantom, Gabrielle will wait until they are well away from Westcote and then whisper, "Did she show you the apparition? All of it?" If the heroes press her for details, she informs them that there is another figure in the apparition, but that she has never, in her 30 years of service here, mustered the courage to venture out into the bog at night to identify it. Regardless of whether the party saw the other figure, she tells them of the master's strange habit. He disappears into the bog every morning for about an hour. He comes back looking queasy and sick, and Gabrielle often hears him gagging later in the day. Thanks for listening to this recording of Howls in the Night Part 4, The Hounds Are Forever Yours. Next up, Part 5, They Lie Beneath My Hands.